I was just about to take a sip, which I'm going to do. So, hope you're well. Welcome to this co working session, this content creation co working session. You know me, right? I'm Winnie, obviously. And I'm just going to kick things off with a couple of admin details, and I will talk about some important information for this month's session leading into actually our second session because we have two this month. And then, excuse me, I'm trying to get over a respiratory infection, not COVID. Uh, our content co working sessions, we will continue them through the coming year, but they'll move to the final Friday of the month. We've been doing them the first Friday. So in December, you get two. So let's go ahead and dive in. I know you've got lots going on in your life and business, and content is one of those subjects that can really cause a lot of anxiety. It's not something that comes easy to people, but it is critical. I'm not going to kid you. There needs to be foundational content, and then there needs to be content that you continuously put out in order to build your brand as an authority, remain top of mind, poke the search engines to recognize you, and to continue to build that optimized web presence. And I'll be talking about that a lot more as things progress, talking about web presence optimization and how do you do that. One thing I want you to really tune into, though, excuse me, is the story that you tell yourself around content in general. When I say there needs to continue to be content that you create and put out, I'm not telling you that you have to put out 64 pieces of content a day like Gary Vee tells you to put out. That's BS. He has a team that helps him do that, and he can invest that time, right? So that ain't you. So don't tell yourself that story. There is a foundational level of, hey, Georgia, of content that you do need to create. And I'm going to run through at least a partial list right now. I've been making notes while I was getting ready for today. So you can take notes, you cannot take notes, don't worry about it. You know, this will continue to grow here in the group. So, again, don't tell yourself a story that only feeds into your anxiety and stress level. Let me think. Anything else I need to share? I don't think so. Lots going on this month. The last quarter of every year, there's always lots of activity, and I offer lots of things to help people get their content, get their message out, and really build towards the next year. That doesn't mean you have to do everything, right? Again, listen to the story that you tell yourself. Know that it's all here for you whenever you want it, and manage your own stress, right? And your own calendar and your own priorities. So, the best way to get started or to continue planning and creating content is to identify where you are on the business life cycle. And there's information in here, right? Somewhere in the guides, there is information for you. Excuse me. The images, I think I've shared a very unattractive image that conveys the business development life cycle. Find where you are. There is no shame in where you happen to be. Some of you I know are making pivots. Awesome. Well, when you make a pivot, though, it kind of throws you back into a previous place on the development life cycle. That's a fact, and it's okay, right? No judgment here. So you want to go back and you want to look at what content needs to be modified, what needs to be changed, what needs to be created. So you're looking at where you are in the business life cycle, and you're going to ask yourself questions like, what's missing? What do I have? What do I need to change? What's working that I can repurpose? And just take a good lay of the land of what you've got. There are some basic elements that you need to have to be able to effectively communicate your message and to be able to get it out in a way that really resonates with people, and so that it's there when they can refer to it, when they can make their own decisions along their buying journey. You're working to map your content, what I call your profit path, to their buying journey, the buying highway, as I refer to it. And you're looking to make sure, make a note to myself, that you have the key content that they need to travel their journey. And I think of that as billboard content, right? The big pieces. So things that are billboard content, they're out front of the house. They're, as we would say in the hotel industry, behind the scenes, there are admin pieces of content that you need that help people and help you guide people through. So the big billboard content, these are things like simply your social media, the little banner, right? The headline, the name of who you are and what you do. That's what I think of as a front of the house, kind of a billboard piece of content so people can see and know what you're doing. You also want to make sure that you've got effective profiles on social media. Your website is a billboard piece. You want to make sure that you've got, at the simplest, a one page that people can just scroll through that hits the highlights of your message. I'll be talking about all this stuff as we go through, the year, and as we're heading into this. So don't start stressing out and thinking, oh, I got to do all this stuff right now. It's not true. You want to go back and look at pigs. That is the essence of every message. Do you have a really solid pig statement that just rolls off your tongue? And pigs, remember, is problem, impact, general solution, specific solution, and problem, impact, general solution, and specific solution, right? And inserted in between of general and specific is why the general solution doesn't work. So when you can say that in a nice way, that's the essence of what you do. And it becomes the foundation of all of your messaging. It's why I hammer it home. Out of that pig statement, there are pieces then that you can expand. Your solution statement, you can create an impact statement, which I'll talk more about moving forward. So you want to make sure that you've at least got that. You also want to make sure, and of course I'm looking at my notes, you want to make sure that you have at least an overview, a PDF document that is an overview of your core offering. That way you can just send it to people. Again, don't tell yourself a story. Well, I have to have this, and I have to have a website, and I have to have it all right now. No, you don't. You're all here. Not one of you went to a website. Not one of you. Because I don't have a sales page for this. I don't have a website that promotes this particular offering, Nail Your Message. Not one of you needed it to take the program. None of you. So that proves that you don't need one. What you need, I sold this originally through about a 30-minute video that was built on pigs, the 3 whys, why you, why this, why now, and of course the why you was why me. And that was it. And I had a PayPal link that you sent money to. That was it. And it's really all you need. So Anne says, yeah, you're here, Anne. Great. My message has changed. I guess going through pigs is first step. Absolutely. Pigs is always, it's the first step for everything. Honest to God, when I'm creating content, including prepping for something like this, the first thing I do is I gather my thoughts by mapping out pigs. I absolutely do. So, one of the things that I need you guys to remind me of are the things that you need. So, and I'm thinking that maybe an outline document. Can you go through it? Yeah, it's not actually in the course anywhere, Anne, but there's a resource that you can use for it. And I will absolutely do something little on a one-page PDF. You know, we in content creation, in marketing, we refer to those kinds of documents in a couple ways. A one sheet, and of course, it's almost never one pages, right? Or one page. We call it a one sheet. We call it a sell sheet. There are lots of ways to describe it. But really, you could create it almost like a PDF type, what was I saying? Almost like a white paper sort of thing. So in the materials, and you want to look in the guide area, look in the files area, there is a resource, or even in the course material, those of you who have access to the original Nail Your Message, which is in Teachable, go into that and look in the resources, and there is a document with outlines. Use that to get you started. But you're going to start obviously with a pigs document, just thinking through, okay, what's the problem I'm solving, what's the impact of that problem, what else have people tried, why didn't that stuff work, and then the specific solution. And remember, a good pig statement, when you're just using pigs like as an intro to anything, a good pig statement is not going to take you any more than a minute to say, and will likely take you about 30 to 45 seconds when you've really nailed it. So yeah, go back and do that. Hey, Rebecca, yay. No, it didn't show me, but I'm glad you're here. So everything starts with pigs. It really is the essence, excuse me, of your message. And I'm looking at my notes. So you want to make sure that you have got a clear pig statement and that you've got the individual pieces, right? This is not a formula. It is, I mean, I guess you can think of it that way because pigs is laid out, but I'm not going to tell you say it this way, because you have to deliver it. Or I'm not going to tell you to write it this way, because you have to write it out by hand. And there are so many variations of how you could expand each letter within pigs, but everything starts with pigs, right? So always go back to that. And that's a really good point that you make, Anne. When your message changes, which it will, you're just going to go back and adjust. So you're going to have a good pig statement and the pieces. You're also then going to have, you know, just a simple one sheet, the simple PDF that explains, it's an overview of the program, and it's going to be problem, solution, and aspiration focused. You're also, eventually you're going to have a website. Eventually you're going to get your site updated. Let me know. I mean, this is the best way for you to communicate with me. Let me know right here in the site, right here in the group, the kinds of issues you're having around your message, changing your content on your site, that sort of thing. Because then I'll use that as I think through and I prioritize what I need to share with you. Okay, Rebecca knows I've been thinking about some hopefully fun and interesting ways to help you continue to move your message forward and create that optimized web presence that everybody wants. Okay, so I'm trying to read my own handwriting. So there are, so if you already have some of these foundational pieces, you got your message nailed, you have your offerings nailed, now you're ready to start thinking about cornerstone content. And cornerstone content are those really big topics that are the foundation of your message. For me, pigs is one, right? Because I just love that so much. So the components of pigs become supporting pieces of that cornerstone piece of content. Web optimization, that whole concept, that's a cornerstone topic for me. So you want to think about your big cornerstone topics and then brainstorm subtopics underneath. if you're ready, right? So next is your central offer. What is it that you are selling people to? What is it that you are inviting and guiding them to? Initially, depending on how you sell, what you sell, you may have a toe dipper offer, right? And so you want to guide people to that toe dipper offer. And the toe dipper sets them up for the bigger work. Now, why do I advocate a toe dipper offer? Because for those of you who do not have the big brand on campus, a toe dipper is a way for people to start working with you, fall in love with you, and then say yes to working deeper with you. Nail Your Message is a toe dipper offer for me, right? So now, does that mean that it needs to be low price, mid priced? Because I also have a private version of working with me, and I just have this new offer that I've created as a toe dipper offer, and I've priced it at $1,200. There will be people who say that's not a toe dipper. Yes, it is. It's $1,200. The price is going up to $1,500 in the early part of the coming year. That's my entry level offer for private copywriting and consulting work on your overall message and website. So, and I'm happy to give you more about that. Love pigs, especially bacon. Don't get distracted. All right. So, focus on that clear offer, and you're going to have your one sheet that describes that. You also want to make sure that you've mapped out the steps that people are going to follow, right? Sue Weeks loves to do this, to create a flow chart. This is where I will. Ann says her toe dipper is $9.97. Awesome. Rebecca says, I was just thinking about the toe dipper offer today and what mine could be. Great. Yes. And you know what? Again, use this group. Post questions in here. Happy to respond to you, and happy to have you leverage the power of the mastermind, right? The collective intelligence of the smarties in here. So where was I going? So map out all the steps. Sue Weeks does this by hand. She charts out a flow chart. Excuse me. I'm still 10 weeks I've been dealing with this infection, and I swear it's not COVID, but it makes me crazy. So for me, many of you know, I'm very, very visual. So I will actually I have my science fair display boards, right? My trifold boards, and I will get my Post-its and I will map it out and move things around. I will actually use the blank space on my walls for the same thing, and I will move things around. In my other house, I had an entire wall that was painted with whiteboard paint. It was so freaking fabulous, let me tell you. So if you want some info on that, let me know, and I'm happy to share. Because when you're super visual, I'm also very tactile. So I would write on the wall and I would draw things. It was awesome. Rebecca says, what's your toe dipper offer? My toe dipper offer you got as a bonus. The toe dipper offer for working with me around content is the website optimization plan that I create, where I review your website. I've got one coming up later this month for a new client. I review your website and I look at it for your message, the overall flow of the sales process. So the funnel, if you will. I look at user experience. I look at SEO. I look at, I think it's like 5 or 7 pieces. I'm in the process of writing this up myself. And it absolutely encapsulates everything I do in this one offer. So I'm super excited that I had this giant aha and put this together, and I'm working my tail off to get these pieces done. But the fact that I have already sold this, right? In some packages, I do it as a bonus, which I did for you, Rebecca. The fact that I've already sold it, and sold it at what some people considered a high price, tells you when you've really got that message and you just say, here's what the problem I solved, the impact I know it has for you. Here's what I know you've tried. Here's why that hasn't worked. And here's what I can do. People are just like, yeah, okay, I'm ready. Right. All I said to one person who I'm starting working with this week, I just said the name. She's like, yep, I'm in. I didn't have to tell her anything about it. So that's also the power of naming, which I will talk to you guys about. If you want to know about naming and you want to get help around sexy names for your offerings, let me know, and I'm happy to do a little video on naming. I am also putting together my own content plan for the year. And so the more you tell me about the questions you have about content, the problems that you're dealing with, the more I can then build my content to help you guys. All right. So that's my goal. So Ann said, I just remodeled my office and lost my whiteboard wall. I know, so bummy. Yeah, so think about Post-it. So here's one of my favorite things to do, and just as a quick tip, and then we'll get started on our co-working session. I love to go to office supply stores. I'm a total geek, and I geek out on all of the different Post-its and they're like toys to me. So right over there on my office floor is a Post-it pad, right? We've got these Post-it pads. Well, this one, it's like 11 by 11 square. Awesome. So that was so fun for me. So get some of them. And I also would encourage you to pick up the science fair display boards, the tri-fold boards. I love them because of the fact that they fold up. So I must have, I don't know, like half a dozen, and I keep projects on there. I keep content. So if you would like me to do a little demo of that, I think I have one on my business page. I'm happy to share the link or do a new one for you. All right. So yes, I know, especially during back to school time, total score moment for geeking out in the office supply store. Okay, so just a real quick recap here. I'm gonna turn you loose, and you're gonna go. We're all gonna do, because I'm doing this too, right? We're all gonna be working on whatever content we've got to work on. Could be planning, could actually be writing. I'm going to be right here. So if you have questions, just continue to post right here in the thread attached to this video. I'm more than happy to respond. Feel free to tag me. I won't respond instantly because obviously I'm working too, just like you are. And I'm out of here to go work with my new client. I have to get ready, obviously. So like 12 or something, I won't be around anymore because I'll be working with her. So I think that's everything. So okay, speedy recap. Everything starts with pigs and where you are on the business life cycle. So that means, and why is that an issue? It's what are you focusing on? What do you need most? I'm going to bet every one of you needs sales, right? You're not ready to build your list. So don't give me that crap about, oh, I've got to build my list. No, you don't. You don't need a stinking opt-in gift. At some point you do, and you're not. No, get your message and get sales. All right. So pigs, the flow of things, and then think about your billboard content. Do you have an overview of your core offering that you can then just give people when you're talking about it? Because that's all you're going to do. You're going to say, yeah, here it is. So yes, pigs is if you go into the guide and the guide area, you're going to find the second running of pigs, or the second running of Nail Your Message was right here in the group. So you can just go back all the way down, right there in reverse chronological order, just because that's how Facebook does it. They stack on top of each other. So you're going to go all the way back to day one and just find it in there. And then look through the PDFs that are in here. There's lots of information that is of high value. And then go back into into Teachable and go back into the original course for those of you who have access to it. So a quick little recap on what's going on with Nail Your Message. I'm getting ready. I keep saying this. I'm getting ready to launch the 3.0 version, which will be much more tight. It will be much more centralized and built around pigs and the whole concept, as well as these core foundational pieces of content that you need to have. And of course, my gift to you, you will get access to that. So that will be inside of Teachable as well. And I'll let you know when that happens. All right, so that is it. It's time to get cracking and actually get to work. Sorry, I ran a little bit overtime here. Um, so I'm going to be right here. Get to work on. Thanks, and I'm super super excited about it. I've got something that's related to this that I'm working on personally, professionally, and I hope to make an announcement by the end of the month about that. So get to work. I'm right here if you need me. Feel free to post your questions. And you know I'll circle back, obviously. Feel free to tag me, though, to rattle my cage. And I'll catch up with your fab self soon. Just as a reminder, we're doing one more content co-working session the last Friday. And yes, it's New Year's Eve. Come on, it's not really a holiday. Yes, it's New Year's Eve. It'll be the last Friday of the month. And then every month moving forward, content co-working time will be that last Friday to prep you for the coming month. All right. I will see you soon. Have a fab day in general. Get lots done. I'm right here if you need me. Bye for now.